The Boston Center for Independent Living, or BCIL, is a frontline civil rights organization centered around empowering people with disabilities to live full, meaningful lives in the community. BCIL is doing advocacy, service, action to make sure that people with disabilities are participating in society and have the right to a dignified life that is a fundamental human right.
We want people to have every single resource to make any choice they want to make, giving people the freedom to fail, the freedom to make bad decisions, but also the freedom to sort of push themselves.
For me, BCIL is a way of life. In order to have dignity and self-respect, you have to be living the life you want to live.
The philosophy is very simple. It's a rejection of the medical model, and it says, I'm not the problem, I'm the solution. I'm the one that decides what my fate in life is, and I want to have complete control over what I do. I want to make my own choices.
At its core, disability rights or disability services are human rights. It's an effort to promote dignity and specifically health, well-being, integration, all these things, equity, that are so critical to each one of us.
Civil rights aren't ever handed out. They have to be demanded and they have to be protected, and there's always challenges.
As someone who was really struggling with how to settle into the area and what services I would need, BCIL was there to guide my way and to give me the resources and the contacts that I need to be able to live independently.
Folks walk through the door and we say, here's the services that we offer. What do you want from us? The 5 core services of independent living: information and referral, peer mentoring, independent living skills training, nursing home transition and advocacy, individual and systems advocacy, that sums it up. None of those things speak to somebody else being in charge. It's consumer control, consumer direction, or nothing really.
I was injured in a diving accident when I was 14. And back in those days, there was no independent living. So people didn't have apartments to live in. There were no PCAs. We were institutionalized.
People with disabilities most often were put in institutions for schooling, for physical therapy, because there were no community-based services. If you weren't able to get to and from a regular school and go up and down stairs, you had to go to a hospital school. I hated it because I always wanted to go home and be with my family. I was raised by strangers.
There was no sense of individual rights. You know, people wanted, needed, and deserved to have more out of life than that.
We weren't in control. It was just horrible, honestly. So we worked, me and 3 or 4 other folks worked with the administration, and that's where the birth of independent living began, in my opinion. The biggest role model in my life was Fred Fay. And Fred came wheeling in one day, and he said, how'd you like to get out of here? And I said, that sounds like a great idea, Fred. After meeting Fred, realizing about the existence of CIL in Berkeley, there was a way out. I contacted Ed Roberts. He basically told me how they were able to start the Center for Independent Living. BCIL was incorporated in 1974.
I've been connected to BCIL since its inception, when BCIL started in the dorm of the School of Theology at BU. I think for early consumers of BCIL was their main support system. Consumers would just drop in and hang out. They would just cruise up to somebody's desk, start a conversation. I mean, BCIL was just such a central part of people's lives.
You felt comfortable going, a place where other people with disabilities work. So I started to pursue some of the programs that Ed did and copied them, and one of them was personal care assistance. When I was institutionalized, everything was provided for me. I was like, how do I get this kind of assistance, but not in an institution? We said we wanted a personal care assistance program, a lot like Berkeley had. And they were like, nope, can't do that. And we refused to leave. There were 4 of us. And eventually, the administrator, his name was Chuck Schwager, came down to the lobby and said, all right, come on up. And after about an hour's worth of discussion, we got 15 pilot slots. And that was the beginning of PCA.
So what was new and innovative was the notion that people could live in the community, hire their own care directed. They didn't have to be medical professionals, and that people knew best about how to get their bodies taken care of.
Changes that are really monumental comes about sometimes by a couple of people.
You are the giants on whose shoulders we can stand or roll in order to lead independent, meaningful lives.
And I've since over the years seen it really expand. If you're having your hands-on care needs met, that allows you to live where you want to live in the community, live among society, everything opens up.
I can't imagine living without PCAs. The program is constantly under attack.
This is the time where we say we ain't going back.
Those who provide the care need a living wage.
The PCAs are a vital workforce, and I think the advocacy that we've been able to engage in to get higher wages for PCAs, benefit, time off, I think that's crucial. It's a symbiotic relationship between the personal care attendants and the people with disabilities that they serve.
We have the right as a disabled person to live as a human life.
PCAs are essential. They are the lifeline.
Disability Pride Days were started in the year 1990 in the Boston area. And they were ways to express our pride at having a disability as part of our identity, to rebel against the societal stereotypes that threaten to exclude us, to separate us.
There are pride movements in other groups, and I think people felt it was time to proclaim that scorn, shame were not part of the equation.
Among the things that I'm most proud of is the advocacy work I've done in transportation. There were various groups that were meeting regularly with the MBTA, demanding more accessible transportation.
I remember the days where a person who used a wheelchair waiting to get on the buses would just blow by you because the driver didn't want to be bothered.
Greater Boston Legal Services met with community members from Boston's neighborhoods, primarily people of color, filed a lawsuit. They asked BCIL to join as an organizational plaintiff in 2004. We did, and it became great teamwork. We started protesting, people showing up in a snowstorm one day, picket outside the T and stuff like that. We held public meetings. We rented the T space out to hold a public meeting and kind of indict the T.
If we have a legacy, it's a commitment to people with disabilities, commitment to the independent living philosophy. Hopefully we are able to continue to evolve and meet the challenges and identify new barriers, because there's always going to be new challenges for people with disabilities to overcome. For a new consumer who's coming into our offices today that may not have heard of us last week, the fact that we've been here for 50 years is absolutely irrelevant to them. Legacy means nothing to those people. If we're not delivering high quality services, none of it matters.
On one hand, it's really exciting. On the other hand, it's like, wow, we have so much work that we still have to do.
There are things that people talk about a lot around here now, health equity and the housing crunch.
We need better repair systems for wheelchairs. People are subject to monopolies.
More people are accessing goods and services and experiences through technology. Is that technology going to be accessible to all?
Don't become so medicalized, forget their basic roots in the independent living movement.
We serve a more diverse population of people with disabilities and be inclusive around racial, ethnic diversity.
We've now moved downtown in a larger office. We now have a satellite office in the Fields Corner area, and that's just really incredible.
BCIL is committed to meeting people where they are. In some ways, that's a very literal meeting, like being in the same neighborhood. It also means being able to speak the same language that our consumers are speaking.
That we literally have job postings and positions for, Spanish-speaking community liaison, Vietnamese-speaking community liaison. I've been here long enough to hear conversations about what if we could do, and now it's pretty exciting that we're in a space now that we are doing it.
I look at the sweep of these 5 decades as a realization of inclusion, of diversity.
I'm proud that BCIL is so diverse now.
Having someone that looks like you and can identify and relate to the experience that you're going through helps a lot. Having diversified people with disability, race, sexuality, all that, we all learn and grow from one another, and we can learn how we can kind of evolve and grow and be with the modern day times as well.
The independent living centers have recognized that LGBTQ folks with disabilities are even more marginalized.
I see the new generations of the disability community, and I am incredibly hopeful. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited to see advocacy continue. I'm excited to see this newfound energy really inspiring some forward pushes, really changing the mindset of how the world at large views disability and integrates with disability.
Being around other people with disabilities who are some of the most brilliant, intelligent, kind, funny people that I've ever met, but also getting to be fully myself in terms of being a person of color with a disability is something that really matters to me.
There's real enjoyment when somebody you've been working with got housing, and then they came to us and they were living in a shelter. Seeing folks come in and say, hey, I want to get a job. What do I need to do to build up my skill set?
If I can just make one person's impact or one person's trajectory change for the better, I know I've succeeded no matter where I go from here.
We are frontline fighting for our rights, fighting for our services and our independence. And that action is something that BCIL does better than anyone.
The advocacy that BCIL does and has done for many years is unmatched in the state because of the leadership, passion, and the commitment. So when there's a battle to be had, you can expect BCIL to be in the forefront.
For me, BCIL is my life. They pulled me from the depths of despair into the life I have now, which is a great life.
To my peers, to my brothers and sisters in the disability community, I completely understand and feel how tiring it can be sometimes just to exist as a person with a disability in a world that was not made for us. But just existing is a form of rebellion. It is a form of sticking it to the forces of society that would push us down. And we must continue to support each other if we are to advance the cause for the whole disability community and to really advance our rightful place in personhood to access the lives of independence that we deserve to have, to lead meaningful lives of our choosing.
For me, it's the life. I've told my doctors, I'm not going to die in an institution. When the time comes, I'm dying right here. I'm not going to be in any nursing facility. I'm being in my home. I want to die as I lived, free.